I hope you're well on this beautiful sunny day again. And today I want to talk about jobs. But before I do, I'm just going to give you a little reminder about how you should how you should try eating things. So I've got some lovely strawberries here. And most of us, when we get something like this, something really tasty like strawberries, or maybe it's something not quite as healthy, something like chocolate cake or something that should be like a little treat. What do we usually do? We just kind of eat them whilst we're doing something else. So, looking at my phone, scrolling, Facebook, news, horror stories in the news about everyone dying. Are you actually enjoying the strawberry? Or is your attention on something else? I actually want to enjoy it now I'm talking to you. So that's what we do. That's one of the reasons I think that there's a lot of obesity, because people don't actually not in tune with their bodies. They're always in their mind, so they're using the phone at the same time as eating, for example, or they're talking to someone whilst they're eating, or they're like watching TV when they're eating. And so doing that means that your attention isn't on your body. So then you're not really listening to your body. You don't know how much stuff it needs and what it needs, or if you even like the thing. So it could be a habit. So for example, maybe every day you eat a donut or something. But if you're never actually tasting it really, and you're always on your phone or doing something else at the same time, then what's the point of even eating that? It's just a habit, isn't it? So it's just a bit of a side note on how I recommend you just try eating instead. So we actually taste it tastes your food instead. So here, this is like how I eat things, like particularly really nice things like strawberries. As again, just have a little look at it first. Again, the mind might say that's boring. Just ignore the mind and actually just look at it and smell it and use your senses a bit, and then taste it. It helps to shut your eyes, because then you're not distracted with your visual perception. And you get so much. Yeah, you get actually taste it. You get the flavour out of it rather than just not even really noticing it. And also this way you can notice when you're full as well. So if you're eating something else and you're just scoffing it down whilst doing something else, then you're not going to eat much more than you need. If you eat it more slowly and mindfully, more carefully and with presence, you'll be far more. You're going to eat what's better for you, and you're going to eat it in the right proportions as well. So that's just a little reminder, because I'm just having my strawberries and I just thought, you know what, no one eats mindfully, pretty much. So why not give it a go? You have to enjoy your food. It's amazing sense that we have taste, and pretty much none of us really use it that much. So give it a go. And then the main thing I want to talk about today is jobs. So the whole idea of having a job, which you basically you study at school and then you might go to university, or basically you're studying for a long time and then you end up getting this job to basically make money. Most of the time is the reason people get a job. Vast majority of people just kind of means to an end, so do the job to get money, and that is so depressing. That is so depressing. I remember when I first started in my finance career, like quite a few years ago, and I did my first week in an office doing finance. It was part of this graduate accounting scheme that I did, and just even at the end of the first day, I remember talking to my dad and and just saying, "Oh my God, is this what people do for like their whole like life, pretty much, until they retire, like years and years?" And I just thought, God, this is this can't be right. It's really like killing my soul, basically, is what it felt like. I was just like, this is so depressing. But then that's what everyone else does, and you're kind of in that loop of just working to make money, and then you kind of don't really see outside your bubble. So you're working with people who have the same mentality as you of, you know, doing a job to get money, and you don't really experience things out of that. So then you just slave away, and you kind of, if you're not aware, not present, not mindful, then you'll kind of tap into the collective thinking of all these other people you're working with, which is generally things like, well, particularly the company I worked for, which is a consulting company, like a big consulting company. It's about getting promoted and going up this ladder, basically, where you take on more and more responsibility, and then you do get paid a bit more, but it's expected that you keep going up the chain. To kind of get tapped into that a little bit, and you think, okay, that's my next goal, is to get promoted, because that's what the company kind of tells you, that's what other people tell you. And then you basically live out your days like that, so you're kind of, not really enjoying your job at all. Like, there's a few perks to my job, but enjoy it. wasn't like jumping out of bed every day thinking, yeah, this is awesome, this is what I'm here to do, this finance stuff, awesome. No, not at all like that. But that's kind of what people do, and you live every day like that. And think how many hours a day you spend working, and just think what you're actually doing. Like, is it creative? Is it? I didn't really think much about creativity before. I just thought, oh, I'm not really that creative. But that's not true, because everyone is, but they just haven't tapped into it yet. But my job wasn't creative at all, really. Very limited creativity, and it's so mind-numbing, really. So how do you get out of that grind, like literally, where you're just working for money and working with people you don't really like, who don't inspire you? It really brings you down, and it's not until you come out of that you realise how shitty it was. Really, really crap. Because your energy just gets so affected by the people you work with, and if the whole mentality is, go up the chain, get more money, still means to an end, no one's enjoying their job at all, it totally saps your energy. Like, it really does. And it's not until I've got out of all that, thank God, that I can really just take a look at it and realise even more the kind of madness of it all. So now what I don't do finance anymore, but instead I coach people on completely changing their mind and completely changing their lives, but through the power of the mind, basically, and understanding how the mind works, which is absolutely critical in everything that you do. Everything. It's your perception of the world. So that's what I do now, is I coach people, and at the moment it's mainly one-on-one coaching that I do with people, and they have various kind of issues. So it could be depression, it could be anxiety, it could be just looking for more purpose in their lives. So a client yesterday that signed up is exactly what he wants to do, which is amazing. How awesome is that? And so that's what I do now, is I coach people and make all these changes, but look through the lens of the mind, basically. Like, how do we use the mind to make all these changes? And I absolutely love what I do now. The people I'm working with, like making a difference, helping people. I'm also working with a coaching company who's helping me with business stuff, and I love working with them because they're so inspiring. Basically they're quite young, but they've got so much energy, and they're doing so well, and they love what they do, and it really rubs off on you. And it's just like, it totally shifts your perception of what your working life or career can be, from working with really uninspiring people and really limited in in the culture and the mindset of that, and then you get stuck in that, and it really just rubs off on you to something where you just feel completely inspired every day. Like, you feel like you're really making a difference, and that you love it. I just love that. I love understanding more about the mind. I love because I've seen a difference it's made in my lives and other people's lives that I've helped, and it's just so. It's like two worlds apart. Like, one was just it's like in the Matrix film, if you've seen that. It's like the scenes where you're just seeing the city walkers on the streets. That's kind of what it's like. It's just really depressing. And then you could just have this amazing other experience, really. So you're probably thinking, like I did, well, I can't do it. I don't know how many ideas to maybe start my own business, or I don't know what kind of company I want to work for, and probably can't do it. easier just to stay where I am. It's true, it is like easier to stay in one level. It's easier to stay with what you're doing, but in a way, it's harming like your your like inner self. Like your inner self wants to express itself and to be creative and to do something it actually cares about. It doesn't want to be a drone really at all. So how do we tap into all of that? It's again through being present. It's about, because you don't really know what you can kind of write down, right? What kind of things do I enjoy doing for my career? So you can say maybe I like painting, or I like dancing, or I like helping people, or I like leading teams. It could be, you can write down a list of stuff that you enjoy doing, and that's really good. But a lot of the time we don't actually know what we enjoy doing until we've become aware. So as I told you before, like about the Matrix scene with those kind of drones, it's like you're kind of your mind is so conditioned by thought patterns of people around you that you don't even realize that you're not thinking for yourself. You're basically thinking from what other people have put onto you. So the way you were brought up, your culture, determines the mind chat that goes through your head. And a lot of it will be things like, oh, you can't do it, it's not possible. So for example, with my changing career, pretty much not just my mind chat said that, but also everyone around me. So like family and friends and other people I spoke to would say it's not possible to make a successful business where you're making good money out of what you do. But actually, that's not true at all, and I'm actually proving that wrong, and it's really awesome. Anyway, so just you have the condition, people around you, they affect your thoughts, and also even if you're alone, you have these thoughts that are conditioned by your past that make you think you can't do things. But you've really got to be aware that these aren't you. So these thoughts that go through your head, you can choose to just ignore them and actually say, you know, I can do it. Other people have done certain things, they've changed their careers or maybe gone to a different company or started their own business. People have done it. So there's no reason why I can't do that. And then start becoming aware in your everyday. So like I gave the example with the strawberries earlier, start doing that, bringing some space into your life with no thought. And then that's when you're actually, so it could be a meditation practice, but more I just say your everyday life. So just pick one thing you do every day, washing your hands or eating something, and be present there instead of being lost in thought. And then that's where you're going to get space for new ideas to come in. And it's not until you create that space of no thought that some really good kind of ideas can come in, and then you're going to start noticing things that you enjoy more and things that you want to achieve. And it might be completely shifting your career like I've done. And it's it will totally change every day of your life, because we spend like most of us spend 5 days at least working every single day. Think how many years you're going to work until you retire. Could be a long, long time. Do you want to do something that you like dread every day, that you kind of hate, or it just fills you with just emptiness? It's like an oxymoron, but yeah, that you just think, you can might ask, is this what life is all about? No, it's not. You can do other stuff. Like you can totally shift everything, and that career is just one example I'm talking about today. You shift everything. Shift relationships, friendships, the view of where you live. A lot of it. So we put ourselves in this tiny little box, and we can break free, and we're totally out of all that. So yeah, I wanted to keep this video relatively short, but I just wanted to try and give you a bit of inspiration, basically, to say you don't have to stay in that job. Particularly now, loads of people have lost their jobs, and I think that is awesome, because now is a perfect time to think, what do I actually want to do instead? Maybe you just got kind of you kind of fell into a career. Lots of people do that, and you just ended up at the same company, and now you've been laid off, and you might think it's terrible. And yes, there are financial stuff, of course, but I think it's perfect now that people can actually have the space to figure out what they want to do. And then you can build something amazing. Once you've got that power behind you of like a passion that comes from your inner being, like it's like a passion for something, and whatever it is. Mine is like really helping people and like talking about the mind. I've always been fascinated by that, psychology. And you feel so much passion like go through. You have so much more energy. I just love to work now. I've got so much energy to do it. It's like you're almost kind of you're pulled along by something greater than you. That really just your energy levels will completely change from what they are now if you're doing a job that you dislike. So yeah, I'm going to give you some inspiration. So not just career, everything. You can change your life totally, and it's not even that hard. But you should just start implementing a couple of things, like I said about the mindfulness, the present moment awareness, and also realizing how you've made a box for yourself. And that's all the kind of things I coach people on. So if you want guidance, then please just send me a message or put a comment below. I've done all this stuff now. I've completely transformed my life. So I'm really happy to help people, and I really understand how the mind works and how we're often our worst enemy. So yeah, I'd love to help you. I'd love you to create a life where you actually, you enjoy it, so that it's fulfilling and satisfying, and you love every day, because that's how I feel. Cool. Yeah, leave a message below if you like what I've said, like it, share it to anyone that might help, that needs inspiration right now. To say it's not the end of the world if you've lost your job. It's actually a great thing, particularly if it's a job you didn't like. You can find something so much better. Yeah, or send me a private message. I'll be happy to help. Cheers guys, have a lovely day. See you later.